Batman might try and pretend to be a bit of a loner and a one-man army in the war on crime, but he's actually gathered himself quite the following and created a pretty formidable family. Yeah, the Bat family is one of the best superhero groups in all of comics and are filled with some of the best, most highly skilled fighters that you're ever gonna see. In a day, well, that whole group is gonna be going up against one man, Spider-Man. And not just any old Spider-Man, but a Peter who's finally decided to stop joking, stop holding back, and start going all out. So who's gonna win here? Well, let's break it down. Good old Peter Parker. Like with strength, well, he's able to easily throw around cars and trucks, even lift subway cars clear over his head, or even private jets. Heck, Peter is able to lift up one of those massive construction cranes, or even basically help support and lift up buildings all by himself. And man, Spidey can use all that strength and throw one heck of a punch. He's been able to fight against some of his toughest villains, Venom, Rhino, Electro, and punch them clean through buildings. That's just a regular thing for him. On one hand, Peter can knock out a guy with just one finger, and on the other hand, he can actually injure the Hulk. No doubt about it, Spider-Man is stupid strong. He's also incredibly tough. Spider-Man has taken punches from Juggernaut, Hulk, Apocalypse, Hercules, and Gladiator, been just fine. Spider-Man actually rests by letting normal people punch him. That's how tough he is. He's taken lightning from Thor, over 100,000 volts of electricity, and okay, he's taking grenades at point blank range, repeatedly taking blasts and attacks from different Iron Man armors. Spidey's even survived a Scud missile exploding right on top of him. He's pretty much immediately recovered from nerve strikes from Iron Fist. Spider-Man is also pretty much immune to any toxin or chemical attack because his body can just instantly filter it out. His body's even held off enough toxin to wipe out an entire city. Then finally, Spider-Man is legit one of the fastest and one of the most agile characters in all of comics. He's able to move faster than the eye can see and just appear like a blur to even well-trained fighters. He can literally move across miles in just seconds. And forget just simply dodging bullets. That stuff is too easy for Spider-Man at this point. He's legit dodging lightning and dodging energy blast. Even energy blasts that are supposedly faster than light itself. And all that translates into Spider-Man routinely being able to speed blitz most opponents he goes up against, even with the likes of Black Panther or Daredevil or other master martial artists. Even though they might be more skilled than Pete, Spider-Man is just so much faster that he's gonna land his hits anyways. Spider-Man also has the perfect counter to pretty much anything that comes his way, his spider sense. Spider-Man will know every move that his opponent's about to make, just because his spider sense is gonna tell him. And the spider sense isn't just a warning system telling him when he's about to get hit, but it's also essentially a radar, giving him complete awareness of all his surroundings. There's also Spider-Man's web shooters to take into account. They've been able to restrain the likes of Iron Man, even Hercules, and other gods. And on top of that, Spider-Man's webbing is basically fireproof, acid-proof, and nearly impossible to cut through. And Peter also isn't really a bad fighter either. In fact, Spider-Man has worked with the top martial arts expert in Marvel, Shang-Chi, to develop his own personal fighting style called the Way of the Spider, meant to enhance his spider powers and give Peter some measure of fighting skill. So, could Spider-Man do it? Could he take down the Bat family? Well, I think in order to really answer that, gotta define what we mean by the Bat family. It's a pretty big group. So we're factoring in Batman, Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, Robin, spoiler, Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, and Batwoman. All 9 of them. There's Batman, who's one of the best martial artists on the planet and has trained under some of the greatest fighters in the world. He's an expert in every single fighting style known to man, and a lot of other alien fighting styles too, and so can quickly and effortlessly switch between fighting styles on the fly in order to perfectly counter and take down an opponent. Dick Grayson is both the adopted son of Bruce Wayne and the original Robin to Batman. However, once Dick kinda got old enough, he set out on his own, becoming Nightwing. After being put through some pretty intense training by Batman, Dick became a master martial artist, capable of going toe-to-toe with some of the best fighters in the world and beating them. Batman has even said in the past that Nightwing is the toughest and best fighter out of all the Robins, and Dick has proven this by beating both Deathstroke and even Batman himself in the past. Jason Todd is Red Hood, one of the only members of the Bat family that is totally fine with killing and using lethal attacks. He's also easily one of the best martial artists on the planet, having been trained under some of the best fighters, including Batman, Bronze Tiger, and Lady Shiva. Even Damian, who's not too fond of Red Hood, still has to admit that he's one of the greatest fighters who's ever lived. Red Hood is skilled enough to beat Deathstroke and Ra's al Ghul in a fight. He's even admitted that each time that he's fought against Batman, it's him who's the one holding back due to their relationship. With Batgirl, well, because Barbara's the daughter of the police commissioner, Batgirl's been trained to be a fighter since she was just 6 years old. And with just that skill alone, well, Batgirl was a good enough fighter that she managed to impress Batman. And from there, well, Bruce took her under his wing and personally trained her for a year, setting Barbara up to be one of the best, most skilled fighters in the world. Stephanie Brown has had several different roles throughout the Bat family, serving as a Robin, as Spoiler, even being one of the Batgirls. She's a skilled fighter and can fight out against some of the best fighters from the League of Assassins. But alongside the rest of the Bat family, she's the least skilled out of the bunch. Tim Drake as Red Robin is known as a brilliant fighter and trained in hand-to-hand combat under Batman himself. However, he's probably the least skilled out of the 4 main Robins. A future version of Tim even realized that he would never be on the same level as Bruce, or Dick, or any of the other Robins. Kate Kane is the Batwoman, being both a highly trained member of the army and the Bat family, making her an incredibly skilled fighter. She received hand-to-hand combat training during her time at West Point, and received even more intense training as she traveled around the world. By the end, Batwoman was essentially a master in 14 different styles of fighting, with Batman describing how she fights as fluid, efficient, and precise. Then there's Robin, who's maybe one of the best fighters out of the bunch, the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul, raised in the Bat family and the League of Assassins. In fact, Damian has said in the past that he knows just as many martial arts as Batman himself, and he can use them all more effectively. Now, this is likely a massive overstatement. Damian isn't quite that good, but he's still ridiculously skilled. And then Cassandra Cain, born as the daughter of David Cain and Lady Shiva, Cassandra was raised to be the perfect killer, before rebelling against that and joining up with Batman and the Bat family instead. Growing up, Cass was taught to read body language rather than actually speaking, which now that allows her to perfectly read an opponent's body and understand their next move, sometimes before even they themselves know it. She's one of the absolute best fighters in the world, and with nothing but her fighting skills, she's been able to easily defeat Nightwing, and Batman said that he would lose to her if he ever had to fight her. And here's the thing, all of them, all the Bat family, have tons of gear and tech too. Smoke gas and tear grenades, explosive batarangs, shock batarangs, sonic batarangs, pretty much anything you can picture or imagine, they're carrying it right there inside their utility belts. And on top of that, they're not just some of the greatest fighters on Earth, they don't just have insane tech, but they're all brilliant geniuses and work incredibly well together, forming a fighting force that can take down just about anyone. But here's the thing, Spider-Man is still just a different animal. He's significantly stronger, significantly tougher, significantly faster. He's got a spider sense that makes him dang near omniscient. He's a very, very hard man to put down. He's also no stranger to fighting against ridiculously skilled fighters. With his spider powers, well, Peter can make them look silly. And you can't tell me that the Bat family are significantly better than someone like Black Panther or Daredevil. When Spidey wants to, he can absolutely clown on them. Spider-Man is also no stranger to fighting against whole groups of people. I mean, he's regularly taking down and beating the Sinister Six, all of his best villains combined against him, and they can do nothing. And that's not the only superpowered team that Spider-Man can take down. He's even beaten different versions of the Avengers or the X-Men before. So just because the Bat family have numbers here, well, that's nothing that Spider-Man hasn't overcome before. And here's the biggest kicker of all. This is a bloodlusted Spider-Man. A Spider-Man who isn't holding back in any way and is finally, truly going all out. A Spider-Man who stopped joking around. And that's a terrifying thing. When Spidey stops holding back, he can kill with just one hit. He can lay out any street-level character in his way, ranging from easily taking down Wolverine to absolutely humiliating Kingpin. And those are two people who give Spider-Man a really hard time, or regularly beat him when Spidey isn't holding back. So when Spider-Man starts going all out, just simply doesn't care about pulling his punches anymore, he's gonna be one-shotting members of the Bat family. No question about it. And on top of that, Spider-Man is way, way faster than anyone in the Bat family. He can dodge all of their attacks when he really wants to. Heck, he'll have all of their attacks mapped out already with the spider sense. No doubt about it, a bloodlusted Spider-Man can win this fight. Again, just on his own. He can take down the Sinister Six, or even the Avengers, or the X-Men. Then you add on him not holding back and bloodlusted. Yeah, no question about it. Spider-Man can win here. Spider-Man will win here.